Hello guys, today I want to show you my mana only budget spark build that can basically do 99% of the content. The real insight from this video is going to be what do you need to have a functional and strong character without investing tens of divines. I want to talk about the use of everlasting gaze, the key mods and items, passive tree and more. We want to have an affordable, strong character to snowball and farm currency and then buy the expensive stuff. But first, let me convince you why the build is so strong and satisfying to play. We're going to do one map as a proof of concept that the build can run the highest tier content, so you can farm this high tier content to get more currency and buy more expensive stuff. So in this case, we're going to do a tier 16 map on a map that has a lot of towers around it, and the node also has these 5 things. As you can see, there are a lot of modifiers. That's because of all the towers alongside. I'm almost finishing this zone though, so I left this for the end for the showcase because this is a pretty good map to run and show you the strength of the build. As you can see, it has a boss and has the corruption and has the irradiation. So this is going to be a zone level 82 because we are also going to do that on a tier 16. And another change is that the normal version is using the midnight belt. So I'm not using the ingenuity, but I formed this belt that it cost me around 27 divines while using this other version. Okay, so this is all the gear I have. I will quickly put the mouse and hover the mouse on all the gear. As you can see, I have 5500 mana total. So let's start the map and let's see how it goes. We're going to the map. As I said, monster level 82. Also to mention that the artistry has pretty high map effect. The rare has 1 or 2 extra modifier and extra effects, sometimes for the prefix and sometimes for the suffixes. And a lot of these increase effect for the tablets that, again, as you can see, there are a lot of mods that are affecting these tablets. So we're going to see how good Spark is and how comfortable is the build for this kind of content we're going to have, especially for Breach, but also for the bosses and all other stuff. So zone level 82, let's do it. We're going to start the mirror. Also, a quick note that I'm not using the custom shock. I'm using the blink so you can map faster. And here's the breach. We have 43,000 the tilted DPS. Also I'm level 93, almost 94.
I can't do that yet. I need more time. Not yet. I need more time. I need more time. Back, creature. I need
Here's the
more
boss.
time.
So let's try to get more mobs so we can feel the rewards from the rear mirror.
I can't do that yet. Darukan favor. I can't do that
Okay. You're also going to see a lot of currency, mainly because I'm using 122 rarity, which when you use the engineering, I get 150. That's pretty good.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, we now see the rares. So let's get back to the breach.
I need more time. I can't do that yet.
Have an essence. Okay, pretty easy. And I think that's the boss missing. Yeah. So let's do the breach. I generally like to clear the whole 82 because you can get the level 20 gems from the white mobs in a level 82 area. I think the breach was close to here. Here it is. Okay.
Thank you. Not yet. No suffering. I can't do that yet. There is power in this battle. I can
Right. So pretty easy.
have no strength.
Intro this.
I can't do that yet.
Let's finish looting. Okay, so now let's do the boss, and that would be for the showcase. As you can see, I like to keep it safe. I don't need to face the boss who's close. I don't want to die. Okay. As you can see, you can basically do any boss safely if you just spark around the area and let the spark do its job. And this will get progressively easier as you improve your gear. And as you can see, I'm using this bell. Actually, it was not this bell because I had a well-rolled one. You can get one with 10 to all elemental resistances. That's pretty cheap. Let's start talking about the mana-only version. I started using the Everlasting Gaze amulet, which is the version with the energy shield. I had like 4.5k mana and 2.7k ES. The build was actually pretty fine. But I noticed that the S was a bit clunky because if you were constantly getting hit you won't recharge it, and I noticed this issue while bossing and mapping. So I felt that I was not taking a fully advantage of the S considering all the investment. In summary, I was giving out my amulet slot and many points in the tree to get something that I was not fully convinced on. We have put an infinite amount of divines into the build. This isn't an issue because you have so much damage that it doesn't matter, but that was not my case. So I started to investigate and found an in-sucker spark version where it basically goes full mana, no HP, no ES. And I really liked the idea because with mana we double dip by improving our defenses and offenses at the same time. Therefore, I decided to adapt that version, which was hundreds of divines, onto my own chip setup. The most basic stuff that we need in our gear is capital res, high mana rolls, intelligence rolls, high ES bases, because with Eldritch Battery that's converted into plain base mana, 70 spirit in your chest in your amulet so we can fit cast on shock or blink and clarity, and over 100 rarity combined in all of your gear because we want this build to farm currency. In the amulet we want to have +2 skill levels or lightning skill levels. This belt is pretty good for survivability, especially when you're managing your whole HP pool. Our shield is going to be the ultimatum one with at least 450 increased effect of the soul cores and 3 sockets, or the equivalent for 2 sockets. We're going to add 2% mana soul cores everywhere but the chest. And finally, for the jewels, we want to have mana regen, ailment effect, cast speed, any form of increased damage, and 2 of those jewels when 2% mana on kill for mapping. And the one is basically going to be increased damage, plus lightning skill levels, mana regen, and if you can get one with int or cast speed, that would be pretty good. This is the passive tree for the build. I will leave the link of the POV in the description, but I want to say a couple of things about the tree. So as you can see, the tree looks a little bit inefficient at first because we are pathing so long. We are literally pathing from one side of the tree to the other side of the tree, but there is a clear reason for this, and it is because we are actually stacking intelligence. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of points with intelligence in all the way to here, that we can get even more attributes. So this is pretty good for the build, and as I said earlier, we are scaling our defenses and offenses by getting more attributes because we get more mana, and mana is our life pool. As you can see, we have I have in my current version a total of 448 intelligence in total, and this can get close to 1k when the build has enough investment. And also, as you can notice, we have a lot of jewels not that are getting in the way, and we can get a lot of good stuff in these jewels too. This is a 93 level skill tree, but the next points that I would get would probably be Breaking Point or even the Arcane Blossom for more mana regen, because that's very important for our sustain while mapping and to counter all the mana that we spend while casting Spark so many times. So now let me show you some of these items in the trade side and how to adjust them based on your budget. So for example, for the body armor, as you can see, I have a search, pretty basic search with 450 energy shield and 60 spirit. The 60 spirit is not needed because you can get someone in your amulet. So for example, with 60 spirit and some other decent stuff, for example, some intelligence and 1 cold resist and one elemental resist, this is already 2 divines, 3 divines, 3 divines. You can get one of these, is pretty good, but if you don't want to spend that much currency now, you can lower this value and you will start seeing some cheaper options. And as said, you don't need 60 spirit because you can complement the 60 spirit for the blink or the cast on shock with your amulet. Then for example, we can take a look at the boots. And as you can see, we can find some for 90 exalts, 1 divine, 1 divine, 1 divine. It's this same thing. We can lower the, for example, the resistances. We can get a 25 movement speed, and I wouldn't lower the mana. And you can start seeing some options for 20 exalts, 15 exalts, 20 exalts again. This will vary depending on your budget or the currency that you want to spend at the start. Then we have, for example, the gloves, which are pretty cheap with my own search. You can put the higher number here and here, you start seeing other more expensive options. Then we have the ring, for example. Let's check the amulet. I think that the amulet has a more, it has a more complex search. But as you can see, you can have one for 60 that was posted 2 days ago. One divine, and 200 swords. And as you can see, this is going to be an amulet with +2 levels. Could be on projectiles because it sparks the projectiles, or general +2 levels of all skills. Then with some mana regen or cast speed, I would prefer the cast speed, to be honest. For example, this one has 23 cast speed and also has intelligence. This is only for one divine, some rarity because we need to stack at least 100 in all of your gear, and a big mana roll. In this case, I needed only 10 spirit for the clarity. If you have, for example, 40 in your chest, you want to have at least 20 or 30 if you want to have the clarity. Then for the jewels, these are some of the 2% of mana on kill. As you can see, I'm adding here ends with our mods. In this case, I added the increase effect duration. You can choose, for example, with one of the magnitude ailments, and mana on kill, that there would be 120 swords and 1 divine. Or when you already have 2 of them, you can uncheck this option and add, for example, 2 damage mods and one of the increased ailment. For 15 exalts, you can start having them. This is probably not 50, but 60, 80, 100. You can have pretty good jewels for the build. Then another example is the shield, which is the ultimatum shield, the mahu, which we want to have to at least 3 run sockets, and we want to have one with at least 450 effect of your soul cores, because we are going to obviously socket 2% of extra mana, maximum mana on it. So as you can see, this is 200 swords, 2 divines, 2 divines, 2 divines. But you could of course lower that threshold and get some cheaper options. For example, 44 Exile. This is 2 minutes. You can reload it, but you can get some pretty good starting options for 100 Exalts. So yeah, that's how you want to search some of these items, and you want to find a search for each one of these and adjust the parameters based on your budget.